In your book, you stress the importance of having an innovative business model. How has the digital landscape affected this idea, and can you share an example of an organization that was leveraging this concept?
Basically, what's a business model? I've seen a lot of definitions and I couldn't even wrap my head around them. Some of them are so complex. I had to create my own that was like simple enough for me. Business model is understanding how do you create value and for whom, and then how do you charge for the value that you create and from whom, right? So in the case of Best Buy, it innovated in a business model by saying, before we create value but for showing people, letting people test and try electronics, and that's the value we create, and letting them buy it. How do we capture value? By selling the TV with a markup, putting a margin on top, selling. What they realized basically is that that was incompatible with showrooming, so they decided to capture value from suppliers and manufacturers, and so they adapted their business model. So what we've been seeing in retailing is technology is not the big driver that is making successful businesses in retailing. It is fundamentally a change of the business model. Costco is very effective, and Costco has a different business model. Instead of making all their money from margins on goods sold by buying products, putting in a margin and selling to consumers, they decided to charge consumers a subscription fee, $90 per year. And when you look at the income statement of Costco, guess what percentage of their net income comes from these subscriptions? What do you think? What percentage do you think?
80?
More.
So it has to be 95.
More.
Oh, so it's over the top. Okay.
It's over. It's more than it's 109%.
So that's their revenue stream. That's what they get.
Yeah. So their business of selling products actually loses money, and they more than compensate for that by charging.
They can raise it even more, and people would still pay.
That's right. And so it's a very innovative
I stopped
business
when it was
model.
70.
Oh,
when
yeah.
I had my Costco thing, I said, oh, it keeps going up, it keeps going up.
Really? Well, there's still a lot of people that pay for it, and they subsidize this other portion of the business, which is putting markups and margins on products. Mm-hmm. Essentially, they're going lower, below cost, and being part of actually a club in which you have access to these things. So this is a business model innovation. You know, where's the technology in that, you could be asking me? You know, the technology only is enabling this to become bigger at scale, but it's not the fundamental driver, right? And so the various of these industries. Now, I'd like to say that there are a few technologies that are highly disruptive and change the game in a few markets, but these come every 10 or so years. All of these new, you know, evolving features of products and technology is not what is fundamentally changing the game. The problem is the media focuses on that, and we all love to hear about new technologies, and we think that is what is causing the major shifts in markets. But in reality, it is consumers, and then adapting to consumers by what you asked in your question, how to innovate on this business model. Understand what it is, understanding where you're creating value, and where are you not fully capturing the value that you're creating. Back to Best Buy. It wasn't fully capturing the value. Actually, it wasn't capturing any value from manufacturers and suppliers. And it realized we're creating value for these guys, and they're not paying us one dime. Let's start charging them. So this, in one of the chapters of my book, I talk about this idea of leakage of value. Leakage of value is essentially when you as a business create some type of value for somebody, but you don't charge them either enough or you don't charge them at all in the case of Best Buy. And the first thing that you should do, as an analogy, you know, your kitchen sink is leaking. What do? What's the first thing that you do?
Call the plumber. Call
the plumber to fix it. Do you say, I'm going to buy a new faucet, I'm going to buy a new kitchen? You never do that. You first fix that leak. Business executives, they're not calling the plumber. When they see a problem in their business and disruption, they say, let's buy new technology, let's create new products to sell in new markets. Well, the leak will not disappear. So first, call the plumber, fix the leak before you go into new markets, create new products, try to find new revenue streams. And Best Buy is a classic case of they call the plumber and they fix the leakage problem.